Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Karina, good morning to you. Speedy, good morning, buddy. Hope everyone is okay. My apologies for Friday. I'll go into detail what happened in a little while when we get a few more in. But I made a bit of a mistake. And I'll explain exactly what happened and why I think it happened. So, hey, Ryan, how you doing, buddy? So I have taken some trades. I took a trade here on one. I took a trade here on one of my accounts earlier, and I took a trade here going long. I just noticed this area here, it's bouncing off, and here as well, we bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. So whenever it's coming into the area, I took slightly riskier trades, but trades I thought were worth going. So what I wanted to do with a couple of my accounts is try and swing trade a little bit more, but I have been watching nice screen. Yeah, is that okay with you, Karina? It's just the ES. Now, I can change it back over, so I have the ES on the left and, sorry, the ES on the right and the NQ on the left. If you want me to do that for you, Karina, I will. So, and I also want to talk a little bit about Apex. That's been a lot of, there's been a lot of discussion over the weekend. I wanted to sort of talk about that a little bit. And I also took an account with Take Profit Trader. Now, I accidentally, I believed I was taking it with, hey, Tony, how you doing? I believe I was taking it with Trade of 8, but I took it with Rhythmic, so it's a bit of a ball ache. So what I've got to do is I can just connect to Rhythmic quickly, and I have got it there. So if I can flick over relatively quickly. So what I might do, if I can get a trade here, I'll flick over to that. But it doesn't take 2 minutes to set up. It's quick. I just open another what's it? I hate John Plot Politics. Yeah, I can't make my mind up about him. First and foremost, I don't think he suits that voice for some reason. It doesn't. I don't know. We kind of, when we listen to someone, when we listen to someone, we kind of make a sort of a makeshift face and attach it to that, and that is the last thing. I thought he was going to be a 60-year-old overweight guy in a suit and a beard, something, you know what I mean? I didn't think he was going to be sort of a younger guy, sort of 40-ish or whatever. So there's definitely been some changes with Apex. First and foremost, the one that is going to affect people most is you can no longer now, when your account gets to 2,600, withdraw 2,000. You can only withdraw 500. I believe it was going to be nothing. But you can withdraw 500. Now, I don't think it's the end of the world. In all honesty, every time I've withdrawn when I've been paid at 2,600, I've taken 2,000. A couple of times I've taken 1,000 and I've gone on to blow the account. So it kind of forces you to... Now, I don't think it's a bad thing to have more money in your account to give you a safety net. Realistically, you know, if that's what you should really be doing, in all honesty. I know most of us don't do it. Well, I certainly don't do it. I've just taken a payment straight away. But the trouble is, whenever you do that, you blow the account and then you've got to go through all the stage again of doing a couple of evals, you know, passing that, and then spend another month or two or whatever building a PA. So I kind of like the idea. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Good morning. Smash that like button. Yes. To be fair, mate, the like buttons, that don't really bother me. I'm not really a YouTuber type thing. I don't generally make videos. I just kind of live stream, but I appreciate the sentiment. He's awake. Joe he's awake today. Got you. So, yeah, that doesn't really bother me. I'm not kind of a YouTuber. I just tend to live stream it. So, you're welcome here anytime. So nice to have you. So, we can take 500. So if you get $2,600, you can withdraw 500 which leaves you $2,100. Now, as much as I'd like to have the choice myself, in all honesty, if we all ask ourselves the question, it's not a bad thing. Now, for a newer trader, I have always said that when you're a newer trader and you're getting your first payment or two, when you get to $2,600, take your payment. It's a nice feeling, but you can't now. I don't think it's a terrible thing. You'll certainly blow less accounts. Now, that's the main change. Now, this other change that you can't risk more than 30% of your drawdown, I believe. So when you open a fresh P account, 30% loss limit, So if you've got, how I believe it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Karina, I think you probably know. How I see it is if you've got let's say we start with a 2,500 drawdown. Now, you can't lose on one trade more than 30%, which I believe is about $750, which, as you say, no bueno, it's not a biggie. We don't generally do that anyway. Now, having said that, let me just tell you about what happened to me on Friday. Now, as I was about to stream, and it was about a minute or two before the market was due open, I'm hoping we get a second entry long here. Now, I don't think I can trade at the moment. No, I can't. And I'll tell you why. I'm just going to have to disconnect them. I can't trade for the first 10 minutes, and I'll tell you why I've implemented that. So, I can't trade for 10 minutes anyway, so I'm just going to quickly go back to what happened to me on Friday. So I got to the markets late on Friday, and I clicked to start streaming on my OBS, and it froze. So I had to close it down and reboot it. And while it closed down and rebooted, I saw that second. Where was it? Okay, so let's just. I can't trade the first 10 minutes anyway, so there's nothing I can do for a minute, which is a shame because this might end up being a beauty. So what it was is when I got to the markets on Friday, I was staring at this. I'd only been here for a couple of minutes and it looked like an uptrend, and I took a second entry long there. Now, that was exactly when the market opened, and it went a bit volatile. Now, when I clicked buy, for some reason, the order opened, but my stop and take profit didn't. So then I glanced top left to restart my OBS, and I didn't realise that it went up and went against me. Now, I didn't have a stop open, and when it goes against you, I kind of panicked and thought, let's hold, because I like the setup, and I held, and it started to come here, and I thought, we're okay, we're back up there, it'll push now, and then it went across and started coming down, and I didn't have a stop, so I ended up losing $800. Well, I cancelled the trade at minus $800, and I felt absolutely sick, because I can't believe I jumped in impulsively without really paying attention. And then when I obviously took my time and realised we'd already had a break, 2 pushes to a new high, so there was trapping longs, perfect long trap. And I fell for it because I didn't have that channel, and I got to the charts too late. And then obviously with that crashing, and then with the trade opening for some reason, without a stop and a take profit, and then obviously I panicked. So that I can't trade anyway. As soon as I hit either 2 trades or minus $500 or more, I'm done for the day. So I was I was screwed basically. So I just went and licked my wounds. So my apologies to Friday. But what I also did was to reset my Guardian Angel Trader, because I usually let it to allow me to trade 2:30, which is 9:30 Eastern time. I changed it so I couldn't trade the first 10 minutes of the open, which will hopefully stop me getting into anything before I've had a chance to settle down. And I know a lot of people don't trade that early bit anyway, but I was kind of done for the day emotionally. And I think because it happened, luckily for Guardian Angel Trader, because I don't know whether I'd have revenge traded that. Because I was so frustrated myself that I just jumped in. So that's why I can't trade for the first 10 minutes. That was across all the accounts, yeah. So $800 over 5 accounts. So I was a bit peed off about it, as you could guess, because it happened quick and I didn't really have time to think. So at the end of the day, 3 trades and I'm back in the green. So it's not the end of the world. And the good thing about Guardian Angel Trader, whereas because that was it's a rare mistake, that is, I may have revenge traded down. I may have blown those accounts. So the good thing is now I'm sat in front of you without having to worry about getting a load of new evaluations. So Guardian Angel Trader can really save your neck sometimes. So Straight Lines Tattoo, how you doing, buddy? I was looking at your site the other day, actually. Some of your tattoo artists are incredible. Brilliant. Really interesting, that was. How you doing, buddy? So when we get 2,600, we can, yes, you can withdraw, which I really don't think is a bad thing. The tendency is to take $2,000, but I reckon, realistically, if you take $2,000, I would say 19 out of 20 traders will blow those accounts, maybe even more. And the trouble is, it's nice to have the $2,000, but then you straight away, you've got to pay for more evals, pay for another PA, and then build it all up again. So I think it's forcing you to be a little bit more careful on the best thing. Yeah, it was brilliant, because I think you sort of, I don't know, do you like rent your shop out to a tattoo artist? That's kind of the impression I got. But yeah, I thought some of the pictures, some of the tattoos of people, I thought brilliant, to be fair. I was just happened to be flicking through stuff. And then I just, yeah. So there you go. So that was my sort of hiccup Friday. And I had enough. I had to walk away, really. But then when I looked back and thought, what was I thinking? You can clearly see channel break, 2 pushes. And I mean, that is an absolute beauty of a setup to go short. Second entry long, you're guaranteed there's going to be traders going long there. And old Muggins here jumped in because I wasn't properly focusing. So it just goes to show a mistake. And with that little bit of volatility, for some reason, although you can clearly see my ATM strategies there, for some reason it opened an order but no profit, and as it went against me pretty quick, I kind of you panic a bit and you hold and you hesitate, don't you? Before you know it, it went to 5, 6, and I just had to cancel it. So whereas before, you know, maybe going back 6 or 12 months, I'd have just left it. But there you go. So, Karina, love tattoos. You have 5. Yeah, I've got a couple, I think, 2. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely a lot more popular, aren't they? Especially with women as well. I've got a friend who's I've got a friend who's covered in them from head to toe. And I know a girl who's got loads as well. But yeah, they're definitely more popular. And expensive as well. They certainly are over here. Certainly are. Right, and the £500 limit affects only the first pair anyway. Yes, it does, yeah. I don't think things are as bad as they kind of seem, whether they seem bad or not. But I do get the impression that it will force people to make better choices and to risk less. Because if you, let's say, for instance, if I've got $2,500 and I decide to move my stop till the account gets blown, it will kind of stop you from doing that, because if you do, you're risking losing your account. So it will force you to make better choices. So 1, 2, 3, possible triple test there. Let me have a look at that. Can I trade now? I can.
Order submitted.
I'm only trading my 3 accounts at the moment. The 2 I've already made money on today. Channel up. I don't know whether you would consider that a break or not. It's hard to say. Maybe not. 1, 2, 3. It's not a £500 limit. They are simply allowing you to eat into the set. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But what I'm saying is, when you get to 2,600, you can get something. Now, my plan anyway was to get to 3,000 and take 1,000. So if I get to 3,000, I more or less can anyway, so nothing will change for me personally. But chances are, I'd say 98, 97, 98 times out of 100. If you take 2,000 out of your PA account, that account's going to get blown. So not only have you lost the account, you've lost the $500 that was in there. This looks like a triple test to me. Let's see how big this is. I expect this to probably go up to the top. Let's just see how big it is. So the thing is, we've had a break and a new high there, so it could trap you, but it does seem like a leg up and possibly some more stuff. I don't think that's that bad. Let me just have a look at this. Channel. There's kind of a break and a new low there.
Order submitted.
Okay. We've kind of gone up and gone 1, 2, 3, and we've bounced. Now, I don't know whether to get out of the top there or not. I think there's a good chance we do something like that, but now I want to leave it to 300, but I'd like to get out there. That's if it don't go against me, of course. It's also like a penguin style trade, isn't it? Leg and a leg. So leg, leg. That's another reason I like it. Now, it may end up coming right the way up here, but do you hold on to it or do you come out of the top? It's probably safer to come out there, in all fairness. There may be a bit of a range as well here, see, so usually I like coming out there, but under the circumstances, I think it's probably going to work. There's liquidity up here, so I think it'll probably go higher, but I'm just going to get out for 225 here. Let's go for 200. They could range here, see, so it may come down, but I think it'll likely break above there, so it's definitely two legs, isn't it?
Target filled.
Okay, so now I could hold on for the 3 points, but it's always nice to get out before the top. Now, it'll probably work if it gets above this, but I just, with the day I had on Friday, now it may push right up this, so it may not be a bad thing to hold this. I think there's a good chance we get up here, but I'd just rather get out for the 200. So you're waiting for the higher low. I like it because it's very much a penguin style trade as well. And you could say 1, 2, 3. Where did you get that target indicator? Target indicator. Target indicator. You'd have to explain a little bit more, Jeff. I'm not sure what you mean there, but target indicator. So, channel up, the one that showed. Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. I'll show you, mate. You'll be glad to know it's free as well. It is indicators. It tells you exactly where your profit is, so you don't have to mess around trying to count. It's called Order Line Decorator. That's it there. And it's free. So if you just, I know it's easy to find. So if you just, if you just go into Google and just search Order Line Decorator, I'm pretty sure it's one of Ninja Traders, and it is free to download. But yeah, it does make life easier. Before I had to kind of work up if I wanted to go to 4 points, 4 ticks or 8 ticks or something. But I would say this is probably going to go a lot higher. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? So at the moment we are bouncing here, and here and here and here. So these are areas. Now I know this isn't Pat's really style trading, but it's ranging. So I'm just working out where I think it's going, and if I can find a decent setup on the way up there, then I'll kind of go for it. But my only slight concern about staying in too long is that we range for a little while, which means it could come back down here, below here, but that is 2 legs down, so I'd rather just guarantee myself 2 points there. If you had more space, I'd hold on a bit. It'll probably work. But if it does trigger above there and trigger a bearish bar, we could come down here and maybe retest this, which would make that a bit vulnerable. So I don't mind that, but I'm happy with that 2 points. That's probably done it now, isn't it? Or has it? Yes, I think it just has. Yeah, so it would have given us 3 points. So, but you see how it's nice and strong, and it's starting to feather off a bit here, which makes me a bit of concern. You don't know whether we're going to have a little bit down here, but I like to try and get out if I can. But yeah, Order Line Decorator. Just Google it, mate, and you'll get it for free. It is useful. So that is 2 legs back, isn't it? So it really is a second entry long, although it's not one by the count. It's clearly a second entry long. Really is just 2 attempts to go lower, which is exactly what it is. So someone took it anyway that I can see. He took it there. 1, 2, 3. It's definitely a triple test. Did Thomas take it? 1, 2. I don't know. Not sure. But I liked it anyway. So 2 points. So yeah, so about Apex, I'm not too fussed. It's not really nothing that's going to affect me personally. Hey, Jan, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, it's not going to affect me personally. There's no major changes really. The 30%, I think, is the sort of biggest change, next to not being able to take the full 2,000. But I don't think that's a bad thing. If you take that full 2,000, yeah, it'll give you $2,000, but you'll blow the account. And Apex definitely don't want people trying to hit 2,000, then blowing the account, hit 2,000, blowing the account, because that's kind of what Alpine does, and we all know that they had him in mind when they changed those rules, so he couldn't trade that. You got it if you're good on you, Jeff. Where he couldn't trade that. So yeah. Safety net now is changed. When you hit $2,600, you used to be able to withdraw 2,000. Now, if you did that, chances are you blow the account. So what they're saying now is, when you get to $2,600, the maximum you can withdraw, is $500. Which I don't think it's a bad thing. At least it guarantees you've got 2,000 in there. So over the next month, if you make whatever you make over $2,000, you can withdraw. So at least you've got a chance then of withdrawing every month, as opposed to hitting 2,600, withdrawing 2,000, losing the 500, which you'll do. So I don't think it's a terrible thing. But yeah, I mentioned earlier, I have got, I just wanted to start trying a couple of others. They're going to put everything on the website soon, I believe. So yeah, So I have picked up a Take Profit Trader account. I had a chat with Sam last night. I think he's got one or two. So I had looked at them in the past. Apex should not have that 30% rule if you just make... no, I don't understand it wise. Yeah, the 30%. Are you talking about you can't risk more than 30% of your drawdown? So I do understand it, but yeah. I mean, if anybody doesn't understand it, if your drawdown, like my drawdown at the moment is $2,500, so I can't risk more than about $750, somewhere around $700, something like that. Now, you wouldn't normally do that anyway. If you're risking $700 with a $2,500, you're clearly really gambling anyway. Well, you're either revenge trading or you're gambling or you're going for windfalls, really. You like the ATM, yeah. If you do 2,000, they pay you out, no issues. Yeah, I believe as well. I think did I pay $102 or something like that? It's 40% off. I have got a code for it. I've had one for a while, but if anybody does want to trade one, there's 40% off at the moment. My code's UKFT. If you do use it, it's appreciated. But I think it costs me $100 or $102. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Karina, that when you get your first payment, they give you it back, don't they? I have a feeling. And I have kind of liked having a go at another account. TopStep is good too. Yeah. They don't do any discounts, TopStep, for some reason. I don't know why. It's a kind of a fixed price, isn't it? It's kind of why I liked Apex, because you always had good discounts, and obviously learning to trade's expensive, so it was kind of cheaper than anyone else. But yeah, with Take Profit Trader, they've got an end of day drawdown. You know, I take some riskier trades when I'm doing evaluations, and it's the drawdown that 9 times out of 10 catches me out. So I like the way that you can maybe jump in there when this starts to move, put your stop to break even, and it doesn't matter whether it goes up there and comes all the way back and stops you out. It doesn't affect your account. So you could potentially, you know, go for a bigger move. If you think the account's going to go over it, you could throw your account in. When it pushes up, put your stop in here, and then maybe you'll get it in one go. So it does give you a chance of getting, you know, a bigger move. Sean, so if we hit 2,600, we'll be able to correct. Yes. So we build our profit back up to 26. But yeah. So if you get up to 26, then for next month, you can withdraw 500 a month. Or if you get to, I don't know, if you make 1,000. So theoretically, whatever you make on top of that $2,000 over the next month, you can withdraw. So it forces you to trade better. And we all kind of know we should be trading better. And, you know, you wouldn't get $2,500 of your money and withdraw 2,000 because you've got nothing left. And you kind of know you're going to blow it. So I don't think it's a bad thing. But for the second withdrawal, we get to trade a maximum of 8 days. Correct. But if you only trade 5 days, you can flip the following 3. So you can open a 1 micro and close it. That's flipping, I believe. We used to do that a while back when they used to have 7 days. So if you only trade 5 days, for the next 3 days, you can open 1 micro, 1 tick, and you're risking $5. So if you've got plenty in your account, you don't mind losing, you know, 1 tick per day. Even if you lose all 3 of them, you're down $15. So it comes into effect on the 5th. Before that, you can use existing rules. I believe so, yeah. They are giving a little bit of grace, I believe. So which is right. You can't just, you know, throw a load of new rules and expect people to know exactly what they are. Some people, you know, might not be into social media as much as we are, and they may not even know, really. Let's be a $500 girl, I think, that starts other companies. I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need, Karina. You should start a prop firm. I'd love to know how much money they actually make. It'd be really interesting, that. But yeah, initially, I don't think it's that bad, actually. I'm okay with it. If we couldn't withdraw anything, I think that would be a bit steep. But the fact that we can withdraw 500, it does enable you then to keep that account. If you've only got $500 left in your account, 1 or 2 trades, the account's gone, and you know that in your own mind. So you're likely, what most people will do is take a risk to try and grow it quick, and you lose it. So not only have you lost the PA, you've lost the $500 that was in there as well. So the trouble is, because it's not kind of our money, it's almost like you're trading with paper money to a degree, and it does affect how you trade. It shouldn't do, and we shouldn't let it, but it does. So if you've still got 2,000 in there, now that's worth protecting. So I don't think it's a bad thing. So what's going on here? So we've had a channel up there with the break, a new high, actually. 2 pushes to a new, but 2 legs back and a nice push up there. So I'm glad I didn't just hold on there. I could have got me 3 points, but I didn't mind getting out because of these tops. I was happy to get 2, and it went up. You'd have got 3.75 points. So it would have had to get there to get my 3 points. So that's okay for me. There wasn't much left. So now I'm not saying it's going to turn in and push up how it may. Well, there could be a correction, and then maybe another channel up, not so steep. Could be something like that. It's hard to know yet. So yes, I have got a My Funded Futures account. It's there. So unfortunately, I assumed I was signing up to it. I was signing up to it on Tradeovate, but I didn't. I signed up for it with Rhythmic, and the only pain in the arse of Rhythmic, you can't trade it at the same time, but it's not a major issue. It's only one account just to try them out, but I think it cost me about $100. But then there's no fee when you move to PA, so. So if you are interested, I have a code there. I've put it on my new face chart. UKFT as usual. It's 40% off at the moment. It is appreciated if you use it. Let's have a look. So it does seem to be rattling between these areas, doesn't it? So whether it will come down now, I don't know, because we've kind of got 2 legs down here and 2 legs up. And then we've got 1 leg down. We could have another leg down. So leg and a leg, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. So it's possible. But I took a trade here this morning on one of my accounts. I think it was that bullish bar there. It come into this area, clearly struggling to go through, and my gut feeling was it was going to push up. So it wasn't a setup as such, but I just traded it on an individual account. No, they're rhythmic. So what I like to do is if I trade another company, is trade the Apex on rhythmic and the take profit trader on Tradeovate. Now I kind of clicked a box, but it didn't highlight like I expected it to when you click a box. So I thought perhaps I go through it, and then it gives me the choice. And then I realised when the account went active, it said rhythmic. So the only trouble is if I do this, I can't trade at the same time now. So what I've got to do is come out of this and then open up rhythmic and then just put my details in. I have connected here. So it takes me about 30 seconds, to be honest with you, to flick over, but I can't change them at what. But it's only the first count. I just wanted to give Take Profit Trader a try. I hear some good things about them, but it's nice to have a couple of different ones, I think, rather than keeping all your eggs in one basket. So this to me looks like we're doing something like that, I would have suggested. So I'm going to call that a triple test, but it's clearly 2 legs back. So be interesting to see if Penguin takes that. I bet he will do. Do take profit, have a sale. Yeah, it's 40. Let me have a look. It's down here. I put it on here, 40% off and no PA fees. So let me just have a look how much I paid. It'll only tell me in pounds, I think. Let me just have a look. Oh no, I've got the emails, I think. Take profit trade. Credentials. Doesn't tell me how much I paid, I don't think. No, it doesn't tell me how much I paid. Let me just have a look on me bank. My fund a few $76. Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. 3, 2, 4, 8. So take profit trader LLC Orlando, £78. So let's £78. So 78.49. So let's just do a quick exchange. So 78.49 in dollars. $100.57. I say $100. So that's not too bad. So it's about $25 more expensive than my funded futures. The thing about my funded futures is you've got to be a little bit careful about how many points you're going for, which is why I used to trade it on the NASDAQ. Now, for some reason, me and the NASDAQ don't seem to go together very well. The risk fluctuates quite a lot with each bar, whereas this, it's pretty stable. There is a higher low there, but we're too close to this side here. Although this may go straight up. So that's the one thing that concerns me about that. But apart from that, I like them. But yeah, they say you've got to go. Your trade's got to last more than 50. It can't last less than 15 seconds. Well, sometimes it's a bit bordering, isn't it? And my concern is I get the account up and they say, you know what I mean? So, and from what I hear, take profit trader seems to be about the best of the bunch currently. So they're the only one I haven't tried. I tried Top Step maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I've tried my funded futures, so this is the only one I haven't tried Fast Track. I don't want to pay that money for Fast Track. And not only that, the guy that runs it seems like a bit of a loony. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like his language. He doesn't come over as a professional businessman. You know, you start to hear a few rumours and that, but I don't know. No, I didn't. I got very close, but trading on the NQ just didn't seem to work very well for me. 15-second on average, that doesn't matter if you hit the target. Well, I think what they're saying is, do they say something like you got to trade for more than 5 points, and you can't be in a trade for less than 15 seconds? So that for me is it's questionable whether you can trade that on the ES. So I used to trade it on the NQ, and all honesty, I didn't do very well while I was trading 2 different charts. The thing is, with scalping, going for small amounts and fast moving stuff, it does require a lot of concentration, and sometimes when I was flicking back from my eyes from one to another, I didn't seem to do well. They changed it to 6 ticks. On my funded futures, have they? Yeah, I may have a go at another one. It's hard to say. But I don't know about the 15-second one. But apart from that, they're okay. But I've tried them. I've tried Top Step. I've tried UProfit. Earn to Trade I tried when I first started. So the only one I hadn't tried that I liked was Take Profit Trade. A Fast Track I'm going to give a miss. I don't want to pay $400, whatever it is. More than 6 ticks, yeah. The CEO sent out a tweet. Well, you should do, because if you're penalising people, you're going to miss out on a big bulk of people who do scalp. But yeah, I'm sort of newish to Take Profit Trade, but from what I hear some good things about them. You get paid pretty quick. I haven't really gone into the rules, just kind of what I've heard around. I've had done a couple of little posts. What do people think? Who else are people trying? Who do people like? And Take Profit Trader did seem to be sort of up there. See, I don't know if you guys have Marmite over in the UK, but Apex, people either seem to love them or hate them. We kind of say that with Marmite over here, you either love it or hate it. Some people love Apex. Some people absolutely loathe Apex. And to be honest with you, I've never had an issue with them up to, well, as thus far. But it's kind of all I've really known for the last sort of year, 14, 16, 18 months. Yeah, I've heard one or two little scary things about Fast Track Trader, people worried about getting money, stuff like that. It's like ICT, yeah. I was watching something on YouTube about ICT, actually. It's starting to become one of the most popular ways to trade in. How do you feel about the news? How do you mean, bud? I mean, for Apex. You can trade with the news for Apex. Oh, sorry. It's all right. I'm having a moment there. You mean the news of the changes? I'm okay with them. The one thing initially that confused the hell out of me was the 30% of profit from... It didn't really make much sense there. They got a habit of not explaining things very well for some reason. But apparently the main thing, the main change is now when you get to $2,600, you can only withdraw 500 maximum, which that's not a bad thing, because every time I've withdrawn, I've blown the account. So this gives you a chance of making a bit of money every month per account. So I'm okay with that. And the other one is the 30% rule. So if your drawdown currently is $2,500 or $2,600, sorry, you can only lose 30% in one trade. So, which is around about $750. Now, if you're losing $750 in one trade, something's not right anyway, because 3 trade, your account's basically gone. Now, if you build up to 5,000, 10,000, obviously that grows, so it grows with your account. So that doesn't worry me now, I understand it. So I was hoping they would change the consistency rule. They talked about changing the consistency rule from 30 to 40%. I hope they do that. I like the idea that they'll allow you to flip an account now. So, and the reason I like that is sometimes I'll go for a week with only taking a trade. So how the hell am I going to trade for 8 days? But if you trade for 5 days over a month, you can, you got to make a minimum of $50 over the 5 days. And for the remaining 3, which takes us up to 8, you can flip. So you can go onto micros and just trade 1 micro, 1 tick, whether you win or lose. The maximum you'll lose is $3 or $4 times 3 for the 3 days. So the maximum you can lose is $10, but it will enable you to still be able to take a payment, because if it's hard if you're not trading every single day. Some strategies you don't trade every day, and that kind of penalises. So I'm okay with them. I like that they're getting rid of it. The trouble is, the good thing is, the more things are set in black and white, what we don't want is grey area and uncertainty. You want to know where you stand. you know, and all this stuff about making videos and all that garbage, I thought this is just going down a rocky road here, but apparently they're phasing that out. And this probation as well, if you're constantly risking more than you should, you go on probation temporarily. So I'm not too worried about that. If you are risking more than $700 or $750 on your account, it's only a matter of time before something gets blown anyway. So I'm not really concerned about that. So nothing really worries me at the moment. So this is clearly a little channel here, I think. We've had a break. 2 legs back, a nice push-up. So this worked nice, actually. It's continuing to go higher. So see, the beauty is with people like Take Profit Trader and MyFunded, if you want to go long there, let's say you're only risking $2,200, you might want to come out here. So if you want to go long there, there's a potential 11 points there, even if you come out of that first thing. Now that's from a 2-point risk to 11-point profit. That's a fair old margin in your favour. And if we look left and right, the chances of it getting up here, I think, are pretty high. Now, if it does come up and stop you out with Apex and intraday drawdown, that's going to screw you. Because if it goes up 6 points, comes down and stops you out, there's 10 points down. So there's $1,000 off your drawdown, and that's going to knack you. Whereas if end of day drawdown, doesn't matter whether it gets up here, comes down, takes you out break even, doesn't affect it. So I like to have a bit of that as well. So, you know, as well as looking at the detail and the smaller trades, I do tend to try and focus on the bigger picture. And we're clearly going bounce, 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 and same here, bounce. As soon as we get into this yellow box, with the exception of this little breakout here, but most breakouts fail, and we know that. So something like one of these trades, a failure or a higher low, that would have worked. You wouldn't have got stopped out there, or even that one. As we know, most breakouts fail, but if you want to hold here up to the top, you can do. You buy here. See, you wouldn't be able to do that with Apex. If you bought there and it went up to 24 points and it came down to here, your account would be blown. Whereas you can do that and let it come up and down and up and down. So you have got the opportunity to swing trade that a bit. So that's what I want to kind of have a little go at. On that, maybe on that Take Profit Trader one. Okay. So leg, sideways leg. So I would say the chance of getting up here would be pretty good. Now we have got an overshoot, so that may change things, but I still think we'll get into this box. Now, if I was going to take a trade down here, depending on where you put your profit, I think it's always better off to get it before the lows of all these. Get out and guarantee yourself something. So what I may do, Take Profit Trader, is reduce my risk down to 1 contract and maybe go for bigger moves. See, 1 contract from there to there will give you $550, and you're risking, let's say, about 3 points. You're risking 3, so you're risking $150 to make $550. So I kind of don't mind that. I'd like to have a go at a bit of swing trading. So leg up, a nice correction. So let's see if we do go up there. Yes, I thought I'd freshen up my chart a bit and make things look a bit prettier. So I went for a different colour for a change. Someone took a trade here. Where did they take it? Here or something. Sorry, Jan, I didn't see that. You got an account with Blue Sky. Blue Sky. I haven't heard of them. I like some of these new companies. I like to give them a little bit of time, maybe 6 months, just to see, how they sort of work. You never quite know, do you? There's probably going to be, there does seem to be, a reasonable amount of money to be made in these prop firms. So you don't know whether people are going to start jumping on the bandwagon, do you? And, people are going to disappear. Owing people money. So I like to give them a little bit of time, I think. But I think it's important to try other companies, not to just, have all your eggs in one basket. Because you never know if Apex ever go bust in the future. At least then you've experienced trading with other companies. One thing I've always liked about Apex is everything's quick. You open an account, boom, it's there. Within 2 minutes you're trading. I kind of like how cheap it is and how quick it is. And I know there's been a bit of rocky stuff, but I think a lot of that frustration with people is Apex were just victims of their own success. They literally, they doubled overnight. They just couldn't cope. So you're going to mess a lot of people around. So I think that's why they seem to have a severe stumbling block. But it does seem like now they're starting to get themselves back into action again. Like regulations before, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how regulations are going to change this market. Is it going to make it harder? The trouble is, the good thing about prop firms is they're great for giving new traders experience of what it's like to have money in the game without putting a lot of money in the game, really. I mean, even if you trade micros, you have to have a minimum of $50 in there. So, if you put a couple of $100 in, let's say you put $500 in as a new trader, you're going to blow it. Whereas you can get about 20 evaluations for that price. So it's much better to get cheap evaluations. I wouldn't even be concerned about what type of prop firm it is. Just go for the cheapest you can. Because you're going to blow a load of them. So it's good experience. Just get in there, get the experience, and make it as cheap as possible. And I've said this before, when you're newish, only ever have one account at a time. Don't get multiple ones and start copying them, because if you blow one account, you're going to blow them all. That Kane, another, just stepped in their bank. Now they're saying no more. That's probably what it is. Mind you, they say they pay out something like 60 million or whatever. So there's obviously a lot of money coming in. So his amount kind of doesn't seem a lot, but it obviously wasn't it? I think apparently a couple of days earlier he had about 3 million in there. So, but yeah, I'd love to see their books. I'd love to see how much money's actually coming through. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, he was something special, that guy. But I think the more he was growing, the more contracts he was doing, wasn't he? So I'm not too bad. When I read some of those things, I thought, oh, we're in trouble here. that 30%, I'm thinking, so if I make $150 on my first trade, all I can risk is 30% of that. How is that going to work? But I think it was clarified then. So it's not as bad as we thought, as I thought anyway. I think it's to fund my own account with Ninja. That's enough of this crap. I would say if you can trade and you can trust yourself, I'd say do it. I wouldn't at the moment, for me personally, I wouldn't. I've considered putting money in my own account, but I don't think I'm ready yet. I still have these silly moments, I think. But what I will say is when you do trade, I mean, I trade 2 contracts now on a 25 on 2,500 drawdown. If I put 2,500 of my own money, I wouldn't trade anywhere near that. I think the maximum I would trade is 1 contract. Another thing I like about Take Profit Trader as well, you don't get penalised for your trading on micros. I think it's per account, it's 25 cents or $2.50, so it's cheaper than all the other prop firms. It's cheaper than Apex. I think it's about $3. It's about $3.90 per one-way trip. Well, it's $2.50 with Take Profit Trader, and if you go to micros, it's 25 cents. So you can trade micros for the same price. So if you wanted to trade 10 micros, scalp 8 of them, two of them on a runner, you could do that. You don't get penalised, whereas before it was just too expensive. So I like the fact that Take Profit Trader do that as well. So for people who are trading micros, it's definitely win-win. Okay, what's going on here? So we've got a channel there with a break. What are we going to get here? A bigger correction and up. So there's definitely some it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But I feel okay. I'm comfortable with any of the changes. Is the ultimate goal is real trading? Absolutely. I mean, you know, my plan is to get some payments from prop firms and then slowly filter some of that in. Rather than putting my own money in, I'd rather put money into an account I've made. So, get a $2,000 payment maybe, and then put $2,000 or $1,000 of it into your own account and slowly filter bits out and trade it at the same time. Trade it small. Seven contracts. I won't do that. I could trade 3, for example, and have 3 accounts. Yeah, isn't it something like I think it's for a mini, you need $500 of margin, I think, don't you? I think it's $500 per mini, $50 per. Yeah. See, the difference with trading with Apex is I've paid $85 to have $2,500 a drawdown, whereas if I have in my own account, I'm paying $2,500 for it. That's what it's costing me. So it's costing me exactly the same. So I probably would trade no more than 1 contract. You're still risking quite much. If I'm risking $150, so 1,500, I'd be risking 10%, wouldn't I? So I'd be risking about 6%, something like that, which I think for $2,500 is not terrible. Yeah. requires lots of margin. Yeah. When I started, I put it. I think back then when I started, I first put money in about three and a bit years ago, 3.5 years ago, and I think it was Philip Capital at the time. There was two that were associated with Apex. I believe they've got their own now. And I think then, unless obviously markets volatile, bouncing all over the place for whatever reasons, then obviously they adjust it. They require more, but I think it was $50 per micro. I think you had to, $500 per micro. Trouble is, even if you trade that right amount of money, as soon as you start going into the red, you start getting emails, don't you? So what is going on here? So we've had that down. Nice looking channel there with a clear overshoot and a big reversal. Up 2 legs back, and we are starting to work up nicely here. So we've had an overshoot, and whether this is a leg and a leg, and then we're going to continue up. It's hard to say at the moment, but so I mean, there's always a possibility that we could be right. I'm not a fan of it just yet now, so let's leave that. Just going to run this across. So it always picks the liquidity, doesn't it? Now, to me, that is the last of the liquidity. I mean, that pushed up quick, didn't it? 2 legs back. Traders are jumping in there. So below there, there'll be some stops there. There we go. Let's just push through some stops. So there was a fair amount of traders in there, the way that pushed down. Clearly 2 legs back. A nice correction there. Nice bullish bar. So that, I think, was a nice trade. And I think you can usually tell how many traders are holding there to the top by the way that pushed through quickly and dropped 3 or 4 points. So are we just flushing these out and we're going to pull up now? So we've had a channel with a break and a new low. Where's this going? Is it going to attempt to... I mean, we had something like that, didn't we? We had a push up like that. Very similar. Started from lower there, but height for height we got right. Then we had that flush down, didn't we? Took out any bits of liquidity here and then started working back up. So I would say this is either likely going to come down and maybe try and retest this or push up. So let's get rid of that now. Let's extend this a touch. Now, I've been caught out on these before, so I'm going to say there's a small break there, and I like that because it's touching perfectly on the bottom, even there, and perfectly on the top. Excuse me, so I'm going to say there's a small break there, a new low. There's a higher low there. I don't think that's a terrible trade. It's a very small risk, actually. It's only 6 ticks. That to me is a small break, but I'm just sitting tight here. If you take riskier trades, that might not be terrible, but I'd like to think now we've cleared all this liquidity out, this may continue on up. So channel, small break, I would say, and a new low followed by a higher low, 6 ticks. So I don't think that's terrible. I think we've got a good chance at least coming up here, which will give you a couple of points. It happened a bit too quick for me to get in. I tend to, that to me would be a little bit more of a risky trade, but a trade I'd say would probably work 8 times out of 10 or something. So even if you went for 2 points, well, you can go for 1-to-1 there, can't you? That does look like a break. possible failure, but that needs to be a bearish bar to make it worth taking. So, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. I think there's a fair chance we get down here. That would kind of work with this leg and a leg, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. That would get us around this area, which would make sense. Up here, down here, up here, down here. So, just working out possible places that it could go. So, yeah, it's possible we get down there. Let's see if we trap some shorts here. If I was going to take a trade here, if I was going to take a short here, I would expect to be stopped out. So let's just see where this goes. Let's see if it picks off that. So that wouldn't have worked then, I don't think. As I say, I don't take him. I'm not very good at him. It is a riskier trade, so you'd have got a point off that, really. Yeah, point. So bearish bar there, channel. There's going to be some shorts there. So I would say, if I took a short there, I would expect that to get stopped out. So let's see what happens. So it could come down here and retest some of this. It did here. It went up there, came down and retested it, and then, well, came into it actually, and then worked its way back up. So, let's see what happens. So, so we've had a break. Now we could widen this now. Let's just see how it looks. Still not sure about this. Okay, it's coming down to retest this, so I don't know how I feel about that channel now. That's interesting. Comes straight down here, touches there and pushes up. So I still would say it's safer to assume that's at a break. So I'm going to leave that there. I am. So came down here, touched that. Some buyers there, triggered there. Let's see what happens if you get a higher low here. I don't think that's a bad trade. But if it is a bigger down channel, it could trap you and come down some more. So I'm just sitting tight here. But for me, whether it's this or not, I mean, I'll even go as far as to say, let's put that there. I got no issues with that. But that to me is clearly a break. So it's about 4.25 point risk, that, which is more than I feel comfortable. So we came here, didn't we? Then we pulled back down, bounced here, and then continued on up. So I think that's certainly a possibility. We've come into this area. We did there, and obviously there were some buyers. As soon as we got into that area, you could see there were some buyers there. That bar pushed up. And as we have come and read, yeah, some people are putting that as a wider channel. I'm not so sure. Be interesting to see what happens here. There'll be some traders. Okay, this is what I think. There'll be some traders drawing that as a wider channel. If we get a second entry short here, my gut feeling is if it triggers, it'll push up and stop it out. Because we've obviously hit this area. And we've picked up some buyers which have pushed that up. So my gut feeling is if this is a bigger channel, which I don't think it is, or I'm not treating it as a bigger channel for certain. If we get two legs back up to here, I'm going to avoid that trade because that could sting some shorts. So I think the safer bet for me is to just put it like that. Call me paranoid. I've been married for 20 years. You get paranoid. So it's clearly a channel. It's clearly a break, and it's clearly 2 pushes down to a new low and picked up some strong buyers. We've come to an area where there's going to be buyers. So if this now continues down past there, then I may open this trade, but I like to give it a chance to have a break and a couple of pushes down. So it's only actually really 1 push down. So let's see what happens here. Back into this area again. Is there going to be any buyers, or is that going to get broken? Yeah, it is. Okay, so there was some buyers there. That just had a little bit of a launch down. So let's see what happens here. I did mark that there could be 2 legs down there. Leg and a leg, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. So we could get down. We're getting a bit of lag there. So we could get down there. So that's just sliced straight through that area there. So this is where I think it might get to. Well, it's certainly a possibility anyway, but you can clearly see that. Leg and a leg, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. So leg and a leg, leg and a leg. Perfect. And a leg and a leg. So whether we get right down here or not, whether we retrace a little bit, but you can clearly see that 2 legs down, 2 legs up, 1, 2 legs down. It doesn't always hit the spot, but it got close enough. But that was my process over the last, Thursday, Friday. Where are we? Monday, aren't we? Thursday, Friday, and Monday. So leg, 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 leg. So we broke below there and pushed straight back up. Uh, 5, 8 points, 7 points straight away. So even if that's a larger channel now, there's an overshoot. So I think it's irrelevant anyway. So there's your channel. If you like that, there's your overshoot. So clear overshoot. So this is pushing up. So it is 2 legs down. So as we've come through this and pushed straight back up here, if we get a push up and then have a second entry long, I wouldn't mind having a go at that. Clearly 2 legs down, isn't it? B for 1 contract margin is for 1 contract 12.5 grand. Is that right? For 1 contract. You shouldn't got a risk worried about blowing the account, have you? You'd be hard pushed to blow a £12,500 account trading 1 contract. Well, it doesn't mean you can't move your stop, does it? 12,500. So 1,250 is 10%. It's not right, is it? 12,000. 1,200. 120, is that right? 120 is 1%. Yeah. So if you risk $125, that's 1%. That's about what your risk going to be trading this. If you're trading Pats, so risking 1%. So yeah, wow, that's a lot. Considering, well, I was under the impression the last time I put my own money in there, I think it was $500 per contract, which don't give you much, really, does it? If that goes against your 10 points, that's it, you're done. And not only that, as soon as you start going into that, you're gonna get a margin email, aren't you? As soon as you start going into that. So it'd be interesting to see what these new regulations are going to be when they sort of finally come in. Let's see what's going on here then. So it could be there with a break. 1, 2 pushes. I don't know. Nothing we can do at the moment. We just got to sit and wait. Sure, it was 12,500, not 1,250. 12,500 seems like a hell of a lot of money. Who are IB? IB. I'm not sure. I can't think. So, yeah, it sounds like a lot, that 12,500 per one. So, yeah, sounds like a lot, that. Well, considering, I think with Ninja Trader, theirs, I'm pretty sure it's $500 per one. That's 20 times the amount, isn't it? So, yeah. At least there's no fear of blowing the account anyway. So, possible second entry short here. I'm leaving this because there's an overshoot there. We've clearly bounced into this area. So, as we know, we've been in there. We came through it there and reversed. So, it'd be nice to trap some shorts here. Ninja Trader, yeah, $500. Yeah, sounds a lot. 12,500, doesn't it? 10, 20, it's over 20 times, 25 times the amount. Well, if it is, you have to worry about blowing the account. Okay, so we got a leg up here. Let's look at this. I mean, it could still come down. There's always that possibility. But just looking back over the last few days, those two legs down, that bigger leg came right down through it and then immediately reversed. And this has kind of done the same so far. So let's see if we trap some shorts here. I'd like to get a bearish bar here. I'm avoiding this anyway. I don't want to go short here because we've come into this area. Well, not only come into it, we've pushed through it. So I'd like to get a bearish bar here because it may trap some shorts. It may come down, but this is not a trade I would take personally. So I'd be interested to see what happens. So that is an overshoot, isn't it, for me? Or it could still be a channel with a break. New low. Let's see if this triggers, see what happens. But this is a possible failure if it triggers. So we try to go lower once. Tell a lie. There's the failure. It's just a higher low. It may not even trigger it. Come on. Come down. Yeah, see, Thomas Wade saying may consider the lower high. Bigger picture tells me not to go short here. But I think it's sensible to go for the lower high and not just that, because that, in my opinion, is a bit risky. Having said that, if we get another bounce, it could be a triple test. It's triggered that. Let's see what happens. You've done, are you? 2 trades. Good on you, mate. Well done. Congratulations. However you're trading, you seem to be doing well. So, leg and a leg. Let's see what happens. Let's get rid of that because that don't look right. So if you did take that, and I get why you might have done, you'd have got a point because it would have to push through. So let's see what happens here. 1, 2, 3. This may be a triple test. I'm still a bit dubious about going short here, although it is a triple test, but purely for the simply. Every time we come into it, we pushed out, we pushed through it, pushed straight back up. Did we trap anybody there? Yeah, we did. So leg and a leg. Short, clearly 2 legs up. There are definitely going to be some shorts there, triggered and pushed up. So when we came through it, we trapped some traders. So I will be very cautious about doing that here. It may work, but my gut feeling is when we pushed through it before, we trapped shorts, especially with that second one. Were we a bit steeper then, were we? Yeah, we went up a little bit strong. We came down quite strong. We went up strong. But it was definitely that second bit that... so I wouldn't want to go long just here either. This just looks more rangy to me. Now there's a lower high here. Sorry, a possible lower high if that breaks above there. But I'm going to stay out of this. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a quick minute. So let's have a look. So there is likely traders trapped there. Now my only concern about going long here is it is 2 legs back, but it also looks like a range. And if it is more rangy, it could trap you going long here and come down. So I'm sitting tight. If this was a bit further up here, like it was a couple of days ago, then I may take that long and trap some shorts, but it's very much sideways, so I'm just going to sit tight here. Okay, so, well, I just caught the nicest short on the NQ. Good for you, mate. 1 minute. Good on you. Good on you. So let's see what happens here. So if you did take that, I think you're up a 1.25 or thereabouts. So that's where we are. So yeah, it's got to push through. So you'd have got 1.25 there. But it's very dicey. It could push up above that. So you could say that's a triple test, but that to me is a little bit far from that AMA. It looks close, but in real terms, it's a million miles away. That body needs to be set up here for me to even consider taking a short there. But as we know, the last time we pushed through there, we pushed back up and we trapped a load of shorts. Same thing, 2 legs up, bearish bar, triggered, pushed up, stopped out. So we could do the same thing. The difference is that was more steep up and down. This is a little bit more sideways. So this isn't as clear, I don't think, for me. So I'm just staying out. I'm certainly not getting into that trade there, lower high. It may work, but it's just too sideways. If it gets below there, and then certainly there, then I would expect it to come down. But that, to me, is a risky short. If I took that short, I would 100% expect to get stopped out. But you just don't know, do you? Excuse me a sec. Okay, excuse me a second. I'll just be 1 minute. Okay, my apologies. Shut the own sign for a parcel. Okay, now is this going to go? We broke below there, so that's why I wouldn't go long there. It's just too sideways. So short is working. Trouble is, I just couldn't go short there because whenever we've been down here before, we reversed out of it. Here we did. Eventually we broke through, but then we tore back up quickly. So short here just wasn't an option for me. Let's have a look. Taylor did take it short there. Okay, so right down to that perfect measured leg, absolutely perfect, right on the nail. So we did discuss that may happen, but I wasn't willing to go short, not in that area there, because every time we've been in there, we've sort of, so look, straight down and straight up, straight down. Let's see what happens here. So we've had a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new low, perfect measured leg. So my gut feeling is now same we had there, strong move up. Yeah, look, it still blows my mind how perfect these measured legs can land. I mean, look at that, absolutely to the tick. It still blows my mind how you can be that accurate. Hey Chris, how you doing, my friend? What do you think of the new Apex rules? If you talked about them already, yeah, we had a natural about them. It's okay, mate. That's fine. Initially, I found some of them a bit confusing. This, you can only risk 30% of it. They didn't make much sense to me, but I don't think they're that bad. Only been able to draw $500 out your $2,600. I think that's a good thing. Because every time I've ever had $2,600 and I've taken $2,000 out, I've blown the account, and then you got to start all over again. And it does get a bit tedious, evaluation after evaluation, PA after PA, and obviously they cost money as well. So I don't think it's that bad. The only other thing that confused me is about that 30% risk. But with a $2,500 drawdown, you can risk about, well, 26, you can risk about 750 on one trade. We generally don't do that anyway. I certainly don't do that. And it does also stop you from moving your stop. Because if price is coming up here and you move your stop, sometimes you can move it until either you blow your account or you get lucky up here and it turns back. But that stops you doing that. So it does force you to trade safer. No, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't affect me for sure. No, I don't think they're that bad. We knew there were going to be changes. There's no. We broke that low there as well. So yeah, we knew there were going to be changes. The only thing I was hoping was that they did mention in the talks, over the last few months, that they were possibly going to change it from a 30% to a 40%. Trouble is, if you want to go for more points or a runner, people tend to get out of trades thinking that it's, if you get on a runner, you make 2,000, you got to have about 6,500 in before you can potentially make any money. So I don't think they're that bad, to be honest with you. I'm glad we've got some clarification, because there was some grey areas which was just ridiculous. I don't know how you can call people out on breaking certain rules or doing certain things when they're not clear. So, yeah, I don't think it's that bad, mate. It'll certainly cause you to blow less accounts, so I think it's not a terrible thing. What is going on here? So we hit that measured move perfectly. So there was a bit of buy-in, then that thing just came straight back down. So maybe we've had a break. 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. Let's see if this thing reverses now. We've broken. No, we haven't. We haven't broken Thursday's low yet, have we? Wonder if we will. Are we kind of getting the mirror image of this thing, aren't we? I think. Bigger push out there. Kind of, aren't we? Leg and a leg, leg and a leg, leg and a leg, down a bit more there. So we're encroaching on that. In fact, we've already broken it, I think, haven't we? Just so, yeah, we have, I think. Yeah, just a couple of ticks. Surely, though, if you bought there and that happened, you'd be selling up here. You'd be daft not to, wouldn't you, really? So I can't see how there's many sort of stops sat around here, really. Maybe around here, possibly, but... So, yeah, so Thursday's lows of the day have been broken. Friday's lows of the day have been broken. So maybe this is just a bigger range. We've been out the top here, we've been out the bottom here, so... May actually be something slightly overall bigger there as well. Not far away. A leg and a leg. I mean, we've got legs and multiple legs. You can see 2 legs there, 2 legs there, 2 legs there. And also, by the looks of things, maybe a bigger leg, which would... So we'll see. So we're close there anyway. We're a few ticks away, 3 ticks, something like that. Now I'm going to leave that there and draw something else. We got a steeper channel here for me. Yeah, we have. That fits, touch, that's beautiful. So, so if you bought here and we pushed up and we had a leg and a leg, we get down as far as here. I'm guessing that is an area where they're not going to want this to come down much further. So, would I take a short here? Tough one, that. See, Matt doesn't talk about what's happened previous days. I don't much, but I am starting to pay more attention to it. And when we had this initial overnight move, it did bounce in this area. So you kind of expect that that one could as well. But it's chosen to go further down. So let me just see if there is a larger channel. Yeah, I don't think that's that bad. Interesting. There's what's potentially looking like a really nice second entry short, but I don't know whether I could bring myself to do anything there. Look at that. There's Thursday's overnight lows, and we've literally touched it, and there's two legs up there. I couldn't bring myself to take a short there. We're too far from that EMA. And we could reverse up. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how confident I'd be taking a short here. I mean, there is a possible second entry. We are trapping some longs there. But I don't think I could bring myself to take a short there. It would have to be a lower high, I think. It doesn't mean we can't continue down. Of course we can. So, second entry short there. Not a fan of that stem at the bottom. I'm just not a fan of this whole thing going short just at the moment. When we broke previous levels. So we've broken this level. We could come back up to test this. We could come back up to here, or indeed we could continue back up. Who knows? The bigger leg. So, touch. I can micro adjust that to give that the benefit of the doubt. No, I wouldn't take a short here. There's a little short-term trend channel there, so taking that for me would be a no-no. Interesting. So that's clearly triggered, but I wouldn't take. Oh, it's up to my. What's its close down? That's odd. My rhythmics. Where is it? Rhythmic shutdown. One thing I am pleased about is we don't seem to be getting any rhythmic problems lately, which is good news. Okay, back up now. That was just an absolute ball ache, that was, not knowing whether you're going to lose all your accounts. I can adjust that just a fraction. Okay, so channel with a break. See, I mean, you could argue there is a break there if you want to keep that tight, but it's no issues to adjust that slightly. After such a big move down, I wouldn't expect a small break and then straight down. Personally, it doesn't usually do that. If we have such a big move down, when it has a break, it'll usually mess around for a bit, go sideways, two legs up here, a bit of sideways, then eventually down. It doesn't usually just have a small break and then come straight down. So if this is a break, I'll be surprised if this continues down. So I will be more inclined to just adjust that a fraction. That's close enough. It's still working there. So if this does continue down, my gut feeling is we haven't had a break yet. But we have broken below these levels. So this could reverse. And it doesn't seem in a hurry to come down, so I'm just sitting tight here. I ain't taking anything. There is possible lower high setting up, but I'm not a fan of this. We've got a little channel up with a break. We haven't made a new high from this. Whether it makes a difference, who knows? But I'm just avoiding this lower high for now, just in case. Now, it may well work, but that's irrelevant. It just doesn't feel right. Let's have a look. Okay, Thomas Wade is kept his in, so he's thinking, well, actually, he's done that as a spiking channel. So, okay, so that could be right. He's done it as it's had a break. I'm not so sure about the break. He's got a small break. We're not there yet on that, so there's a couple of mixed views on here. My gut is we touch here, there and there. It's a small miss. Doesn't always have to get right there. It's got close enough. It's a couple of ticks off on the stem. But, you know, after seeing these for a few years now, whenever we get a break in such a big move, it's more than just that. You don't often see that and it comes straight down. It'll go like that, come down, push up maybe for a second leg, go sideways and eventually work its way down. So if this comes down here, my gut is we haven't done a break because that just doesn't happen anymore. Your bars are different. I haven't reloaded my historic yet. I'll reload it now, but see if that makes any difference. Let's have a wee look. Not any difference. They don't seem to be. We missed that by a tiny touch. They look the same to me. That looks the same. That looks the same. Maybe this is a bit different. Maybe. I don't think. No, we've not got a bigger channel there. Nope. Definitely not. Just your last four are different. Try reloading yours, bud. Sometimes they do. They are slightly different. You know, this data is coming from their service to my computer. Different parts of the world, different internet speeds. It only takes a second or so just to make, you know, things a little bit different. So they can be different from time to time. Same as mine after. Okay, great. I can't see a massive difference. The trouble is when you've got so many bars, when you've sort of finished here, you move on, don't you? But that looked the same. See, ordinarily, I didn't think that was a bad trade, but because we're in here, we were in here there, we were in here there, we were through it there, every time it's coming into this area, it's reversing, so I just wanted to be aware of that. That stopped me from getting in there. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. I'll let it do its stuff. I don't know what it's doing now, whether it's going to continue down or not, I don't know. But to me, it doesn't look like it's had a break. It looks like we've had another couple of legs down. So whether that'll continue or not, I don't know. maybe it will. But I'm just going to leave you just for a few minutes. I'll make a cup of tea and I'll be back. Okay. Market's definitely slowed down now. I mean, we've had hardly anything since I've been gone for a few minutes. This is that part of the day when things seem to move twice as slow. Half speed, should we say. This is when you need coffee. So let's have a wee look at this leg and a leg. So we know where it could come down to. Nothing you can do down here, unfortunately. So, little channel with a little break. Where are we going now? Where are we going? Are we continuing down? I don't know. Little channel there with a break and a new low. So, I hate this day when you've got no sort of real direct. Well, you got nothing close to a setup really. I mean, as a rule, I don't. Even if there was a second entry within there, I wouldn't take it. It's got to be really in conjunction with that EMA for me. That EMA is that little safety net, really. I mean, there's two legs up. There's a second entry short, which is nice. The setting's nice, I think. The setup's nice, and it did hold and it did work. But my just concern about that, because you don't know whether you're going to push up, have two little legs down, trap some shorts, and then rock it up. We've been down here multiple times, so it was just an area that I just wanted to avoid, really. It doesn't mean it can't work. But ordinarily in a channel, a couple of legs like that, I would prefer that leg to be a little bit higher. But once it starts to connect with that EMA, it was okay. And I think the last one in the sand there was second entry long, triggered, plus another bullish bar triggered, and then straight down we came, trapping longs there and there. But it was just one of those ones I wanted to stay out of, that's all. But didn't it drop? We've had a fair old drop this last afternoon. Let's have a look. Not too bad. 40, 44, 45 points. Okay, so could you keep that in there? You could do. Does look like a little break. We've come down here now, but we've got, looking at that as a channel, we've come down to the bottom, up to the top, down to the bottom, up to the top. We seem to be finding some support down there, stopping us getting down there. Maybe nothing. Wonder whether we ranged for a while. So, bearish Barry, I wouldn't take that. It's only really a first entry. You could say it's a failure, but I'm just not a fan of this at the moment. I just don't like the look of this. If you want to be picky, you could say we've had a break in a new low, but I'm staying out of this. Could come up and retest this sort of area, which would be Thursday's lows. Or we could come up here, so we could range. I don't know, but I'm staying out of here anyway. I'm going back over the blacklist again. I watched it a few years ago. I'm just going back over it again. Kate's just thrown herself off the bridge. So, although I don't know with that little fall how you can just assume she's died. I've seen diving boards higher than that, so I suppose it does leave it open for her to ever come back, but obviously it's finished now, so that never happened. The Tower. Yeah, I watch plenty of British TV. The Tower. I've never heard of The Tower. I think you guys definitely make more sort of dramatic stuff, more action movies. I don't know what I've watched British stuff lately. I liked. I'll tell you what I did watch. That crime drama. What was that one? What's the woman's name? She's got an Asian partner. I thought that was brilliant. What was that called? It went on for 5 series. She was killed in the end. I thought she was a brilliant actress. What's it called? They were detectives and some. I can't think. It's gone blank. Yeah, The Unforgotten. That's it. I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed that. In fact, I started going over that a second time, actually. I think she's a brilliant actress. Unforgotten, yeah. She gets killed in a car accident in the end, doesn't she? It's quite sad, actually, when he goes to sort of visit her. Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that. That other one as well. What was the other one where the woman was a teacher? She was a blonde-haired girl teacher, and one of the students' parents took her out for the night and obviously dosed her full of something and raped her. And she kind of catches him out and sort of finds out, you know, what happened. That was good as well. That was cool. That was quite a while ago. What's that? But that was good. And he'd done it to loads of other women, and they found he had tapes and all sorts in the end. But that was quite good. So bounce. Part of me thinks this looks like a bottoming pattern. Channel with a break, new low, channel break, new low, and a retest. I might be wrong. Not sure. No, I'll have to find out what it's called. But this looks like a bit of a bottoming pattern to me for a move up. Now, call that a guesstimation. But we kind of got 1, 2, 3 bounces. So my gut is telling me this is moving up. Now, whether it gets to here or whether it gets to here and we go sideways, I'm not sure. But so we kind of got 1, 2, 3. So we hit here, got a little bit lower, then had another third go, and we didn't quite get as far, and we've had quite a quick move up. So we'll have to sow this. If you like this channel, as I mentioned, we've come to the bottom of it, come to the top, come to the bottom, come to the top, and we've struggled here, which ultimately usually ends in a break, and this is a break to me. So is it going to go lower? I'm not sure. It certainly could push back up to this area. Or I've sort of identified there's a few touches there, a couple of touches there. We may go sideways for a bit. Sometimes we end up doing that. I can't remember what that was called. It was good though. I did like the one with Gillian Anderson, where she's Gillian Anderson and him from 50 Shades. He was a killer, wasn't he? And she was like she was a detective, wasn't she? A bit of a nutter herself, actually. That was pretty. What am I getting? Yeah, it was okay, that was. Luther. I didn't watch Luther. I'm not sure why. What else have I watched lately? I watched Bodies. I thought that was a bit odd. Watchable, though. So I'm just flicking through some now. Luther. Is that anything to do with Luther from... Was it from Superman? Is that how it stems from, is it? Not sure. Now that's interesting. We did get up there. I thought we did. Are we bouncing now? We're going to push up. Can't find it now. Game of Thrones is one I never watched for some reason. I don't know why. That had a massive following. I'll tell you what I did enjoy. I really enjoyed that. What's wrong with my head today? It's set in Scotland. I think it's set just after the war. And they go up to Scotland and she goes up to some stones and goes back in time. I forget what that was called. I really enjoyed that. That was good. What's wrong with my head today? I can't think. Is this going up now or is this coming down? It's a tough one. Set in Scotland. No. What's it called? Come to me. Outlander. That's it. I thought that was brilliant. Outlander. That's a really good. I think there's about 7 series of that, I think. Okay, so if you took that short there, I think you're about to get stuffed. It is 2 legs up and it is a second entry short, but that for me was likely going to get trapped. So, are we bouncing off this area? I certainly put it down as an area of interest. Bum, bum, bum. Is this a triple test? So, second entry short, trapped. I didn't like that trade, though. That, for me, has gone a little bit too far from that EMA. I wouldn't take a short here either. As I say, that looks like it's bottoming, but we've got a channel down here. One attempt to go high, second, so it could come down. But this is crunch time, I think. But it does look like bottoming. Bounce with a break. Came down a bit lower. Had another retest. Couldn't get down here. Push up. So this, for me, so we've got two schools of thought here. We could put that back to there and say we've had a break and a new low and then a retest and then off. Or you could adjust that to there and it kind of fits. Slightly higher there, but I don't think that's a major issue. And so we've had a break here, so this could come back down. We haven't made this measured move. Now, whether we do or not, that's another thing. So it's a tough one, that. It depends how you look at that. I like the fact that we touch there and touch there. It fits nice on the bottom, which I think always helps. So this could come down and make a new low, or... yeah, see, Thomas Wade has just put that on. You're done for the day. Take it easy, bud. Take it easy. Thomas Wade, yeah, he's just put that on there and got that as a break. So it could... we've actually made a new low, technically, so this could go up, but he did have it slightly different earlier. He's got it as a break now. He's put it in there. He's put it in. And this was Thomas earlier on, 10 minutes ago, and he's kept it in. So I agree that now I think, for me, it's looking more like we've already had a break, but I wouldn't swear to it because we've had a break, two pushes to a new low, we pushed up, then a retest. We had a second entry short which triggered some shorts, so it could just go above these and then come back down, or it could continue higher. So this is an area where I'm comfortable trading it. One, you don't know what's going to do here. It could come down, and two, it's a million miles from that EMA anyway, so there's nothing I could do here, unfortunately. But it is fitting nice, so it just depends how far it's going to go before it either comes down and has a retest or has a break and continues up. So that, to me, if you're going to be picture perfect, you would say that that's at a break. Still fits nice there, so fits lovely there. Touch, fits perfect there. Nice at the back end with a small break. My only concern is that is a small break to me to just do that and then come straight back down. It doesn't often do that when we have such a big move, but it doesn't mean it's not heard of. So I'm staying out of longs just at the moment. I want to give it a chance to come back down. There's nothing I can do up here anyway. It's got to be down here close to this. So we know there's liquidity up here. Definitely there, and definitely there as well. Trouble is, you don't know how long people are going to hold on before they start to take profits. Some may be holding on for that measured move, or to clear these areas up. Surely they want me out that break and a new low, you'd be taking them down here really soon. So that looks like a couple of legs. Leg and a leg. So a leg and a leg. Now there kind of is a trap there. If you forget this bit and take the move from here, there's a second entry short there which triggered and pushed up. Now I wouldn't consider that. It's just too far from anywhere really. It's kind of floating above this. We've taken out liquidity here, so it could come back to that EMA, so it's not a trade. I don't want to jump in there. So far that measured move is holding price. Let's see if we get a break. So that bull bar, if I took that bull bar, I would expect it to get stopped out because it's floating in the middle of nowhere. But that thing's still continuing up. Now we're coming into this area now, so maybe it may use this as a resistance. So if you took that a tick above there, you wouldn't have got a point. You'd have to push through it. So let's see if that holds. If I took that one, I'd expect to get stopped out. Let's see if it does. Clearly two legs. Straight away, look. I think if you can start identifying these trades that some people might think, well, yeah, we've come back and pushed up again, let's go long here. Triggers you, stops you out. This market knows exactly where the traders are and where the stops are. Perfect touch, perfect touch, perfect touch, perfect touch. Big bullish bar. You think, yep, we've come down here, we've pushed up, let's go long gear. Triggers you, comes down, stops you out. You get better identifying areas where you're going to get stopped out. I don't know whether I'd identify it and it'd give me enough confidence to go short there, but it just gets you to understand a better understanding of how the price works and what it does. Looks for easy liquidity. I wouldn't take that one either. We're close to this area where you can clearly see there's going to be a bit of support there. It's a big bar. It's too far from that AMA. You don't know whether it's going to bounce off this and come down a bit more, so there's nothing you could do here, really. One of those days, at least I got on a trade early anyway. So I'm up $1,900 for the day, so it's not a bad day. Hasn't quite sorted out for Friday, but we're not far off anyway. So that was always going to get stopped out as well. Let's see what happens in this area. See if, because we have kind of two legs down, although it's not a measured move. Couple of pushes up to this area. Maybe we're going to retest this and push down. Kind of support becomes resistance. Or it could just come straight back up into the meat of this area. So, channel break, new high. That's played out. So there may be a larger channel. So that kind of bottoming pattern did sort of work out, didn't it? I wouldn't have taken that one just in case. And that one was only really, well, it was technically a fairly, but it's just a bit too far from that EMA. You don't know what it's going to do when it comes up here. So we've retraced about half of that, just having a quick glance at it. So let's see what this does. A bit early for that, but Okay. I wouldn't take a long there. It's only a first entry. Actually, that doesn't look that bad to me. Fits nice everywhere, actually. Fits nice on the top end, nice fit there, perfect touch on the stem, perfect touch on that stem. So I like this. It fits okay. Fits nice on the backside as well. So it's only a first leg down there, so I wouldn't take that. My gut is that may get stopped out. It's too far from the EMA. It's only a first entry, and it is a little leg down with a break. So there's going to be some support in here, surely. We could get a higher low here. I just don't like taking trades in the channel when that EMA is so far from it, because we're coming up to an area where there is support and resistance, and it could come back down to this EMA. It could have a break. If you're going to trade that, surely around this area you'll be thinking about taking profits, and then maybe getting back in down here. So for me, I wouldn't want to go long here really, unless we had two legs. I still don't fancy it. Today, let's see what he's taken. I reckon he'd have taken that trade I did. So he only does 3 hours maximum marker. How long have we been going for? So yeah, they've done 3 hours. And no, he didn't. It looked a bit better on mine, to be honest with you. Okay. Channel with 2 legs. Now this is a toughie, because there is some support there. Now whether that makes a difference or not, I'm not sure. I don't think it's a terrible trade. It's 2 nice legs. I'll see how this forms. I want this to break below there, really. See how it looks on my other chart. Yeah, it looks better on my other chart. So I'm going to
Order
buy this.
filled.
And I'm going to buy it early because it's already broken above it on my other chart. So I don't think it's that bad. Oh. I don't like that. 2 legs down. Whoa, what's going on? Steady. We got no news or anything. I don't like that little flicker down there. It actually looked better on this chart. 2 legs back, and we had broken below here, so 2 legs down. I thought it was okay. We'll soon find out. It looks like it's coming down. Nice channel. 2 clear legs down. See, ordinarily, most traders wouldn't be looking at this. I don't like that bit of flickering. That unnerved me, that did. Unless we've got a channel with a break and a new high. Do you know what? I think we probably have, but I liked it. I'm still going to get out for break even here, just in case it does give me a chance. Sometimes it'll give you one chance. I don't know, it may work, but I'm going to
Order
give it, I was
filled.
going to give it an extra tick just to see if it made a difference. Sometimes it does, but well, it happens. I'm surprised. I thought that wasn't a terrible trade. So perhaps there is a... Oh, perhaps there is a... Yeah, do you know what? I think there is. Or is it sometimes it'll trigger and then push up? Let's see what happens here. I don't think that was a bad trade, actually. It looked better on the other one. Yeah, I think we've already had a break and a new high. That's why that didn't work. I was going to give it an extra tick. Maybe that would have helped. In fact, I would have had to give it 2 ticks. Should have waited for it to trigger. It triggered on the other chart, and that's primarily why I took it. It broke below there, so 2 legs back. Trouble is, I had that like... Let me have a look. I think I had that like that. Yeah, I did. I didn't think it looked terrible. We had 2 legs down. It did tick below there, and it did trigger. The damn thing's coming up now, isn't it? Oh, take that. No, it won't let me do it. Oh, why not let me do it? No, it won't. I like that. I didn't think it would. 10 minutes. I'm just going to have to disconnect this. So that's more of a leg, isn't it? I'll see. A shame that. Mind you, we have already had a break, haven't we? So, leg and a leg. Don't think it'll let me open a trade, will it? No, it won't because of yeah. Yeah, I wasn't the only one who took it. Oh no, tell a lie, sorry. T8. Yeah, I should have kept that tight. I would have avoided that then. So I think this thing's coming down, isn't it? By the looks of things. Thomas Wade's in this one, and he's just got stopped out. Maybe not yet. He is now, I think. I'll be amazed. Yeah, he has. I think there's a few that took that one. Yeah. So it's because of the break and the new high, I think. Yeah, there's a few people who got stuff there. Yeah, loads of people took that. One, two, three, four, I think, took that. Yeah, I think the trick was to keep that tight. That's a break and a new high. So it never triggered there, but I took it based on my other chart because it had broken across it, but perhaps I should have just, I don't know. I wonder if there is something larger there. It's certainly possible. Break new high. 1, 2, 3. Not sure. Okay, folks, I am done for the day. Coming up 3 hours. That's enough for me a bit. So down 125 on the 3 accounts, but still up $900 overall. So not a terrible day today. Shame about that last one, but there you go. Sometimes it is what it is, isn't it? So I will love you and leave you. I'll be back again tomorrow. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. Failing that, I'll see you guys tomorrow and we'll do it all over again. So bye for now.